Hola mi gente, welcome back to the channel. On today's video, I'm going to show you how to find trades, how to enter into trades that could potentially be 10xers in the short term. These are quick swing trades using options, and that kind of risk to reward ratio is just so favorable in my personal opinion, and it's why I look for these kinds of trades. One single trade, 1,000% returns, turn 100 into 1,000, turn 1,000 into 10,000, turn 10,000 into $100,000 with these kinds of trades. And they don't always work. No trade is guaranteed, but if you do the right due diligence and the right technical analysis, you are going to hit on a fair amount of these. And because of that high risk to reward ratio, in theory, you can be wrong 9 out of 10 times and still break even. So let's go over a trade that we just got into. It is basically fresh. We got into it yesterday, and it might work out, it might not work out, but you're going to see the potential returns off of this trade. Now, on the private Discord server, if you want to join, a link is provided down below under the trade alerts channel or section under the We Are Investing Trades. This is where I post whenever I get into trades. And there are two trades that I recently got into that have this high risk to reward potential. The first one is on Pfizer, which we will go over, and the other one, a little bit more of a simple trade, is on Palantir. We'll go over both of these trades and why I got into them and how you can use this strategy to find trades that have high potential risk to reward ratios. So let's jump into Palantir first. Now we're on Thinkorswim and I'm showing you this, and this is my default layout. This is my trading grid, and these are the charts that I look at in a particular stock. We will switch over to just one chart just to make things a little bit easier for you to view on your computer or your mobile device, however you're watching this video. But I want to show you this because of the volume profile, because I think it is important to see where most of the volume in the terms of price is for Palantir. And you can see that the largest amount of volume occurs when Palantir is around $7.50 to around $8.25. Keep that range in mind because it is important in determining what our potential risk to reward ratio is for this position. Now I'm going to go over to charts, and we're going to do this all on the 1 day. And all we need to see is the candlesticks and the RSI. That's essentially all we need to look at outside of that volume profile that I already showed you. So where are our supply and demand zones? Well, we definitely have a demand zone right here at around $7. You can see that the stock has bounced at $7 multiple times. It bounced right around here. We had a nice bounce in consolidation right around here. We had a bounce right here, and we had a bounce right here before earnings that sent the stock soaring. Also keep in mind, it's important to look at price action before this huge spike. What was that price action? Well, it's clearly it was negative once it got to the supply zone, which is right around here at around $9. Resistance, supply zone. Resistance, supply zone. Resistance, supply zone, and now we are above that supply zone at the next supply zone, which was the peak right here, which occurred back in February 16th of 2023, and that occurs just above $10 a share. We also need to keep an eye on where RSI is, because that's going to show us if the stock is overbought or oversold and give us an idea of where momentum is. Well, currently RSI on the daily, this matters because RSI on something else will be different. For instance, if we were to look at the weekly candles, you can see that RSI is not overbought. But RSI on the daily is overbought. We are above 70. And the last time we got above 70 was that breakout to this supply zone, and then it came coming down. So based on prior price action of it being negative heading into that demand zone, and then that radical spike up based off of earnings pushing us to overbought on the RSI, it's my opinion that this kind of setup is due for a pullback, because that momentum, in my personal opinion, is not really strong. If we saw a spike up, but leading up to that spike, we had positive price action, I would say that momentum is building off of itself. Momentum still can build off of itself, but I would bet, and I did make a bet, that the stock will be coming down to retest the prior supply zone or even somewhere lower on the range. Maybe where we have a lot of prior price in volume, maybe where that volume profile was at around $8 a share. So when I look at this setup, I think to myself, okay, I want to make a bet that Palantir is actually going to reverse and head lower. Is there an attractive position for me to get in based on where I think the stock can go? And this is where we use options to our advantage. So we're going to go over to trade and we're going to look at the options available for Palantir. Now these moves happen pretty quickly if they are going to happen at all. If we see steady momentum to the upside, the stock may continue much higher. So I'm not really interested in getting into an option that is far out in expiration because I'm not going to get that risk to reward ratio that I'm looking for. So this May 19th, and where we got into our position at the $9 for 7 cents a contract, for $7 a contract, if the stock was to get to $8 or even lower, which based on the chart, if we go back to the flexible grid, is, let's say it hits the lower portion of the volume profile at say $7.75. Well, if we go back to trade and let's just say that we analyze a buy trade of a single position, what would be our max risk and what is our potential reward if Palantir was to get to $7.75? Well, our risk is how much we paid to get into the position, $7 a contract. In this situation, we're saying we're buying 10 contracts. So our max risk is $70 for this position. But if Palantir was to get to $7.75, you can see that our position would be worth $1,192.57. So we're risking $70 to potentially make close to $1,200 on this position if Palantir was to get back to $7.75. And based on the setup, there is a nice chance that it's going to happen. And with those odds, I think that risk is worthwhile to take on. So let's recap really quickly this trade. So let's go back to our charts and we'll go back to the daily chart right here. What are we doing? Well, basically we're looking at a stock that is overbought on the RSI. It's at resistance or a supply zone, and we had negative price action prior to this catalyst that left this huge gap that tends to be refilled. When will that happen? Nobody knows. Will it happen? Nobody knows. But we're making a bet that it's going to happen, and with our bet, we're looking to get more than 10-to-1 risk to reward off of that position. Like I said, $70 to potentially make $1,200. Those are the kind of odds you want in your favor. That is how you minimize risk by using options, because you lower the amount of money that you put out there, the amount of money that you're risking in this market. Maybe your position is not going to work. Maybe this trade doesn't work and you lose 100% of the position. That's okay because it's only $70. Now let's recap another trade that we got going on, PFE, which is Pfizer. And this trade's a little bit different, but it's the same kind of concept, looking for high risk to reward trades. Now, Pfizer right now is breaking down. It is oversold on the daily RSI, but it was oversold not too long ago and it keeps setting lower lows. So this is an indication to me that downward momentum is strong and it's likely to get to a support line or a demand zone. And we're not at that right now. So we're basically at the 52-week low, so we're not going to see a support line on this chart. We need to zoom out and we need to take a look at the weekly candles. So if we look at the weekly candles, there are two areas where the stock could potentially bounce. What I see is right here, this supply zone, which is around $37 a share. So it's not much lower than we're at currently. The other one is right here at $33 a share. Now, it's my opinion based on momentum and momentum alone, with it being oversold on the weekly and daily chart, because if you look at the RSI right here on this weekly chart, we are lower, and the fact that we have been oversold twice and we continue to set lower lows is a strong indication that momentum is strong to the downside, in my personal opinion. So I think that Pfizer is going to break below $37 a share. That puts us in no man's territory. Where would the stock actually bottom out? Well, then the next area is at $33 a share. So what position did I get into? Well, if we look at the private Discord, when I got into this position, I bought a put debit spread, PDS, at the $36 strike and $35 strike for May 26, and I paid $9 for that contract. So essentially, if Pfizer was to get the $35 a share, I am going to have 900% returns on that position. $35 a share is above the support line right here at $33 a share. We still have to break below $37, but 9-to-1 odds, I'm willing to take on that risk. So the way to do that, to look for those options, is if we go to trade and we go to the options chain and we go to the expiration date here, you can see that I bought the $36 put option and I sold the $35 put option. On Thinkorswim, if you just go to buy, you go to vertical, and then we're doing 36 and 35, and right now you can buy at a price of $8 a contract. Let's say that we wanted to do 10 of these. I'm going to right click and I'm going to hit analyze trade. So on this position, what is my total risk? Well, it's $80, $8 a contract times $10 or 10 contracts. My max risk is $80. What is my potential return? Well, if we scroll all the way over here to the left, you can see that my potential return, my potential profit is $920. So I am risking $80 to make $920. Those are the kinds of returns that I'm looking to get. Those are the high risk to reward opportunities that I search for in the market. And when I find these opportunities, I like to get into these trades and I share with the community on the private Discord server. That's how you find trades to get into with a small account that offer a lot of bang for their buck. And that's how you use options to minimize risk. Lower the amount of money you need to get into the trade and increase the amount of money you can potentially make off of a given trade. If you want those live trade alerts, join the private Discord server. A link is down below in the Patreon. Outside of that, I'll catch you on the next video. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Subscribe to this channel for more investing content and trading content on YouTube. Hit that notification bell so YouTube will notify you, and smash that like button. I'll catch you on the next video. It's been real, it's been fun, it's been real fun, and this is We Are Investing. See ya!